As I was making this video, something just came to mind. Think about it for a second. For your dedication, all the hours, all the sweat, all the sacrifices you make, and the work you put into your craft. What if it never pays off? But then again, what if it did? Out of millions who play the game today, barely 1% ever make it pro. Today's story, fortunately, is about one of them. Victor James Osimhen, one of Nigeria's greatest strikers ever. A player who came from the street of Lagos, where the odds are usually stacked against you, and he rose to the very heights of European football. Welcome to the premiere episode of the 411, and I'm your host Khalid, where we'll be breaking down the stories behind the game. Osimhen grew up in Olusosun, Lagos, southwestern Nigeria, where he played football like any other street kid, playing from parks to community pitches, just trying to fall in love with the game. Then fortunately one day, two grassroots coaches, Ariyo Igbayilola and Shira Ayila, brother of Super Eagles star Yusuf Ayila, were drawn to Osimhen's talent. Eventually, Shira used his connections to get Osimhen into under-17 trials in Abuja, which is the federal capital territory of the country. That chance changed everything for Victor. Victor made the cut, and from there, he never looked back. By 2015, he was starring at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, finishing as the top goal scorer with 10 goals. That was a tournament record at the time. Clearly, that performance will attract the world's biggest clubs. Nigeria won the championship, beating Mali in the final, and quote-unquote, Osimhen became an overnight success. He became the subject of a bidding war. British clubs, Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspurs showed interest, but the young Osimhen chose VfL Wolfsburg, a German top-flight team. They moved quick and they secured his signature. But things were not rosy from there. In 2017, he struggled with playing time, just like any other young kid. He had some injuries and he was on the bench for a while. His breakthrough eventually came when he moved to Charleroi in Belgium, scoring 20 goals in that season. That spectacular performance earned him a move to French side Lille. At Lille, he lit up the French league like never before, scoring 18 goals in his debut season. Well, they say one good turn deserves another. Napoli swooped in the summer of 2020, splashing a club record to get Osimhen on their books. And things just went up from there. From the very beginning, Osimhen hit the ground running. He showed Italy and the whole of Europe what he was made of. He was scoring headers, right foot, left foot, you name it. Terrorized defenses across Italy like never before. In just the second season, he did the unthinkable. Osimhen led Napoli to their first Serie title in 33 years, and he also won the Golden Boot while at it. The city of Naples embraced him. Osimhen wasn't just a striker, he was their hero. But then in football, there's always a but. And Osimhen's but came in rather controversial ways. He suffered racial abuse on the pitch, and shockingly, even his own club, they disrespected him. They made a TikTok video mocking him. The football world stood by him. There was friction between the club and their top-notch striker. That was the beginning of the end. It became clear that fairy tale was soon to be over. Fast forward to 2025. Victor Osimhen now plays with Turkish giants Galatasaray. He is now outside of Europe's so-called top 5 leagues. And that begs the question, why is one of the world's supposed most efficient strikers no longer at the Europe's very top? Well, the first question that came to mind, is Osimhen really that good? Well, we have to look at the numbers. From a non-penalty goals per 90 basis, only Lewandowski tops Osimhen. He leads with 0.79 non-penalty goals per 90. Osimhen is a close second. You have Alexander Isak, Kylian Mbappé, and Erling Haaland. The truth is, Osimhen is very efficient. He scores goals at a very high clip, even among strikers of his ilk and caliber. I also compared Osimhen with other strikers who were subject of transfer speculation this past summer. Osimhen led the pack and led it convincingly. Osimhen 0.76 non-penalty goals per 90, followed by Arsenal's latest shining toy, Victor Gyökeres, with 0.54. Man United's leading frontman, the newly signed Benjamin Sesko, is very far behind. Nicholas Jackson, formerly of Chelsea, is also far behind, while Darwin Núñez is the last of the pack. Once again, Osimhen is miles ahead. While clubs fought over Gyökeres, Sesko, and Jackson, the Nigerian already operates at a world-class efficiency level. So why Galatasaray? Why not Madrid? Why not Liverpool? Why not Arsenal? Well, it's a combination of reasons. Napoli's price tag. At its peak, Napoli valued Osimhen at 100 million euros. Their president, Laurent De Laurentiis, refusing to lower his demands. That fee put him out of reach when other strikers, the ones we've listed above, were available for half the price. And there was also a timing thing. The clubs who could afford him already got someone. Madrid has Mbappé, City has Haaland, Atletico Madrid has Alvarez, and Arsenal was already in talks with Gyökeres. The doors to Europe's biggest clubs were already shut. And deservedly so. His production on the field deserved the humongous salary he was earning. But then, that meant that any new deal had to match or exceed whatever he was earning. For many clubs, that wage bill was a stumbling block, especially because they had cheaper options elsewhere. So instead, Galatasaray gave him what no one else could: Champions League football, a passionate fan base, financial stability, and a team built around him. And Osimhen himself, in his own words, he has already embraced the city. He said, "For me, it's good to adapt quickly to the people, to their culture, to their tradition, and when you do that, they love you and make you one of their own." So the elephant in the room is this bye-bye to the top 5 leagues for Victor. Well, I don't think so. If Osimhen lights up the Champions League this season, the world will have no choice but to look his way again. Another factor that I think could also tip the scales to Osimhen's favor is the World Cup, especially if Nigeria qualifies. And that is a big if at this point because we've underperformed in our qualifiers and we are on the brink of elimination. But if we do, he will have a global stage to prove himself as one of the world's best strikers. Again, in football, they always say, reputations rise, reputations fall on the biggest night. And for Osimhen, those nights are still way, way, way ahead of him. Because at the end of the day, it always comes down to dollars and cents. When the goals keep coming, the dollars usually follow. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you can get when the next video drops. Well, it's been a pleasure and bye for now.